And that's a little bit, and I got this quote from one who wanted to come. She could not come, but then she sent me this nice quote, so I want to sort of make sure her part of this conference also. And she said, each human being has unlimited creativity and power to change the world. Each of us has this creativity locked up inside each one of us. Let's break this lock. I think that's a good message, that we can feel that each one of us have an important aspect to life and we can contribute to peace in all different ways. But not everybody people think about peace as something very tangible, because humankind has always been in struggle, right? Okay. And one can wonder what is all the really greatest obstacles for world peace. And there are these external aspects we can talk about: military, economic injustice, political suppression. But there are also these more, maybe a little bit more in other aspects, lack of respect of human values, biased education I take up, maybe media who serves the elites, maybe not all people, not all voices get heard in society. There's also maybe a sense of complacency. There are many aspects you can think about which prevents us to have peace between each other. And so how do we best promote peace? So we have the external aspects. There's the political involvement, social involvement, and science. And then we have the internal aspects, more education. We'll talk about interfaith, intercultural dialogue, culture and arts. Those deals with our human characteristics and understanding about human nature and values. But this is one thing we want to stress here, is that in order to have peace, we need to find a common base, right? We need to have a common worldview. Because we are very much divided, usually, between my world, how I see things, and the other world, how other people see things. And between that, there is a big barrier. So, how can we overcome this barrier? And that's why we talk about this universal shared values. And so we can say that world peace concerns all aspects of life. And even though the world is more integrated, technically, economically, there's also growing mistrust and division. In other words, we cannot just rely on technology. We have to also rely on our understanding how to dealing with the technology and economy and how the world externally develops. Religion has been a driving force in human civilization, but because so many human struggles used religion many times, so many people feel that religion has been an obstacle to peace. But it's something we feel we need to address, because actually religion is actually not necessarily a cause for the struggles. Because we can also see that now in the Western world particularly, religion is going down and has less role to play in society, but still there are a lot of tension and struggles in society. So within the political world, there is a more polarization, increased social confrontation, and a conflict between a spiritual-oriented and a materialistic-oriented value system. And that's something we feel we need to bring out. That's why maybe religion and spiritual values are important, because they can teach us something more about life and how to live life in a good way and inspire people to feel value in their lives. And we need to learn something what's the highlight is to have it to transcend my world, to embrace a larger world. So this is what I want to talk about. There's a need for a more comprehensive peace model. Instead of just looking at peace as something legalistic or military, political scientists usually define peace as something of absence of war. But that's actually insufficient, as we have struggles on many different levels. And how do we prevent them? So there's two worlds. Where external conflicts, and we have an internal world, inner world, and there are internal conflicts. And this needs to learn to interact with one another. And that's how we try to create this homo peace. and understanding how actually we can overcome these barriers and actually learn to interact them. And we can say that this is also within ourselves, our own mind, our own body, between people and values and so on. So that's why I want to highlight this, that instead of having a reductionist view, we want to have an integrated worldview, where reason and heart can collaborate. And they collaborate us as human beings, and should also collaborate ourselves in a culture. So we know that we have a material aspect of life, and we have also spiritual life, and that is also the human nature, right? We have both these aspects. And that leads to personal development and social development. Another aspect I will talk about this comprehensive peace model is that when you have three spheres of human aspiration, and they're all interacted, but we can talk about this. I talked about how we develop our steps of consciousness. Like when we're children, we start very much, small children react very instinctive, and then we go to school and we get our medication, we try to learn to think and reason more. But also, we need to also get to the more higher transcending awareness, so we can go beyond these barriers, how to go transcend ourselves a little bit. And I think this, when we look at society today, we feel that maybe the education system lacks this sense of development. A lot of people just focus on their own.
Trade and practice. Which Buddhist teaching and traditions are most relevant to international humanitarian law in situations of armed conflicts? We all know well that all religions of the world agree to found and obtain the global peace. No religions deny keeping the global peace. As is the Buddhist, I dare to express that the fundamental globals of the Buddhism is peace. Actually, it is more not only peace in this world, but also peace in all global. The ways to be is taught by the Buddha. Is the first test of global peace. Is the understanding of the causalities of the peace. Buddha taught the Dharma for people to obtain the intersections of all suffering, to know how to live peacefully with our people in our daily life. As we know, in this present situation in the world, we have to face with so great a mass of the crime, threat, swiftly and murder. All good leaders of the world are continuously trying to prevent those who are in bad situation. While others who do not want benefits for human beings put evil action on the peoples of the world. Therefore, in every condition, good leaders has to try for the peace of the world, to save the lives of our human generation seeking, to limit the effects of the armed conflicts, to protect the life and dignities of human beings. But we should know the ways to peace and preventing from wicked problems in the armed conflicts. When we understand the ways on this, what causes peace, we know where to aim our efforts. What can we do to cultivate peace? Well, Buddhism advises this. We should start with ourselves. We must be stuck ourselves. One Buddha addressed a monk called the Sandra, that it is not possible for one who is stuck in the mud to pull off another, who is also stuck in the mud, but it is possible for one who is not himself stuck in the mud to pull out another who is stuck, according to the Majjhima Nikaya. In the Sakapanya Sutta of the Digha Nikaya, we have the records of the Buddha's response to question as why people enjoy living in peace. Nevertheless, at any way this leads to the conflict. In diagnosing the problems, the Buddha traces the immediate and the secondary causes until he arrived at the final root cause. This is namely the craving. According to the Buddha, cravings or greed prevent us from pursuing our own best interests. Even when we clearly see the path leads to our own welfare. As a conflict is rooted in envy and greed, it follows that the path to the non-conflict must be a cause of renunciation. Our movies, the constructed thoughts and desire, there's people around the notions of I, and me, and mine. That drives to the identify and to process. Again, in the Tamar, we learn this relevance does not lead to peace. He abused me, he beat me, he defeated me, he fought me. In those who have such thoughts, hatred is not a peace in these first. The Buddha advised us to bear the wrong turns to us by others. The Buddha's constant advice is not to realize when to provoke, but is to provide patience and forbearance at all times. He advised us to, in effort, test the validity of his teaching by trying things out for ourselves, to learn the truth by our own direct experience. Also, there's an unwholesome greed, hatred, and ignorance. Removing these three kinds of the unwholesome, we must cultivate the tolerance, proper intention, and good volition. For the peace of the world, to remove the conflicts that can destroy everything we build. Loving kindness, compassion, sympathy, strength, and equanimity called force immeasurable can provide all human peace and compatibility. These four kinds can be carried out without discrimination, greed, and color. Those can suffer from all suffering. The last offer happiness and construct peaceful world. At the needed agreement, good relation and coordination with the tolerance, loving kindness, and compassion can also create the happiness of the human. But we all should understand and realize that all peace concerns with the individual peace. According to the Buddhist teaching, peaceful mind leads to peaceful speech and peaceful action, leads to the peaceful nation, peaceful global. When human minds are at peace, the world will be at peace. Here, we should search the causes of unconflict to war. The causes of war are too numerous events to list. Why does war happen in this over the global world? When does war arise? Who creates to be so? There are so many views and concepts which digress ever and so many viewpoints to express it. Buddha said, mind is the forerunner of all evil stages. Mind is the chief. Mind made who they are. If one speaks or act with wicked mind, because of that, suffering follow ones, even as the weeds follow the hood of the drought house.
Mr. Sermsak Narinwong. I don't know if I pronounced it right, but anyway, welcome.
The Venerable monks, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Sermsak Narinwong, the chairman of Buddhist Federation of the United Kingdom. I am very pleased today to join the World Peace Conference Stockholm today. The object of we talking about today about how can we make this world to be peaceful. The one thing we should understand, the problem or not problem, it depends on humankind or human being. That is why when people or human being try to develop any technology, but they never ever thinking about themselves or oneself. That is why this world today is more advanced than we thought. But we still cannot get rid of suffering or society injustice. Another thing, society have a problem because someone who in charge, the judge, they not fair to other. That why make another angry and then make an argument. And also another group of people try to rectify or seeking rectify to get something to correct imbalance, and this way they try to do something. But we still have the dukkha. Dukkha is the Pali word. In the way we think or we thought, that means suffering. Suffering or misery, this make people suffer, and we can't do because we do not understand the Dhamma. If we understand the Dhamma, we will understand ourselves. That is why the thing we should do is thinking ourselves. If ourselves have the Dhamma or the teaching of the Buddha, we will gain the peaceful of mind. Another thing, if we going to be peaceful, our oneself and family, and after that we spread a little bit wider, that to be society, and society should be morality as well. And also, if ourselves, society being good, ourselves or people in the society understand the fact of life, they will make the environment to be useful for humankind. But another group of people, they do not fair to, after they try to thinking of oneself or thinking of their group of people, that they can make more difficult for environment when environment come a problem or imbalance that will make our society or make our world problem as well. That's why the teaching of the Buddha that mean to be peaceful. That's why the United Kingdom have recognized the Buddhist teaching on the world peace. They are now on the 15 December 1999 to recognize the Buddhist teaching to be the peace of the society. How can we, on human being, to be peaceful? We have only the Buddhist teaching. The first one is morality. Morality is the important basic of human being. If we understand the teaching of the Buddha or the Dhamma, we will control ourselves, how to do, what to do, and then ourselves and our family will be peaceful. If our family peaceful, ourselves peaceful, that means can spread to be society. And also society understand the environment. The environment will be useful for us to be our life, to be succeed or peaceful in our society. That's why if human being, every single person understand the environment will gain the benefit for us, such as the forest, the water in the canal or whatsoever. Some people they do the selfish. They think only themselves or their group. They not care another environment to be problem. They don't think about that. That is why this world going to be hotter or we call the global heart, something like that. That's why if we understand oneself by follow the Buddhist teaching to morality, that means sila, we will be happy. The second one is concentrate. If we concentrate ourselves by following what we study from the Buddhist, we will control our mind, control ourselves. If we control our mind, control ourselves, and then the society will be peaceful as well, and then the environment will be benefit for us. I think this should be enough for me to speak today because I'm not prepared for today. Suddenly, the speaker invite me to Tamar to come to speak, and then I quite prepare for it. But never mind, I try my best anyway. To be conclusion, we should have the morality in the basics and concentrate in the second and understand the way of life by study and practice the Dhamma of the Buddha. We will be peaceful of mind. When our mind peaceful, the world will be peaceful as well. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. So we go straight to the next speaker here. Benjamin Paz Moreno. He's the rector of his Spanish-speaking the Catholic mission here in Stockholm. And we got a translation here simultaneously, so I wonder what our translator disappeared.
Buenos días.
Good morning.
Soy Padre Benjamín Paz, rector de la Misión de Católicos Hispanohablantes aquí en Estocolmo.
I am Father Benjamin Paz. I am the rector of the Catholic Spanish-speaking mission here in Stockholm.
Vengo de Bolivia, de Sudamérica.
I come from South America. From
Muchas gracias por la invitación
Bolivia. Thank you so much for the
para
invitation
poder compartir con ustedes hoy
to be able to share with you today
algunos pensamientos
some of the thoughts
sobre el diálogo interreligioso,
about the interreligious dialogue
necesidad y principios
and the principles and necessities and needs
de encontrar un terreno común a través del diálogo interreligioso.
to find a common ground in order to be able to develop the dialogue, interreligious dialogue.
La historia ha sido testigo de muchos actos violentos llevados a cabo en nombre de la religión. Sin embargo, muchos seres humanos han comenzado a reconocer otro papel de la religión como un poderoso medio para lograr la paz y la reconciliación. Consecuentemente, el número de estudios sobre el diálogo interreligioso está creciendo de manera prometedora.
History has witnessed many violent acts carried out in the name of religion. However, many human beings have begun to recognize another role of religion as a powerful means to achieve peace and reconciliation. Consequently, the number of studies on interreligious dialogue is growing in a promising way.
El diálogo interreligioso ha sido un tema muy controvertido y ha habido muchas discusiones al respecto sobre su necesidad, su justificación y sus logros. Estas cuestiones han puesto de manifiesto que las personas no son conscientes del verdadero significado del diálogo interreligioso.
Interreligious dialogue has been a very controversial topic, and there has been many discussions about it, about its need, its justifications, and its achievements. These issues have shown that people are not aware of the true meaning of interreligious dialogue.
El diálogo interreligioso es como buscar para darse cuenta de la unicidad de la religión, de la unidad básica, de la universalidad de las creencias. La religión abarca todas las creencias y razas bajo la fraternidad y exalta el amor, el respeto, la tolerancia, el perdón, la misericordia, los derechos humanos, la paz, la fraternidad y la libertad a través de sus profetas. ¿Cuán útil y beneficioso puede ser el diálogo interreligioso para solucionar los problemas?
Interreligious dialogue is like seeking to realize the uniqueness of religion, of the basic unity and universality of belief. Religion embraces all beliefs and races under fraternity, and exalts love, respect, tolerance, forgiveness, mercy, human rights, peace, fraternity, and freedom through its prophets. How useful and beneficial can interreligious dialogue be for solving problems?
El diálogo interreligioso no pretende cambiar las ideas de la gente acerca de sus religiones o creencias, sino que trata de encontrar un terreno común entre las religiones, centrarse en las comunidades y, a través del énfasis en la armonía y la paz, quieren encontrar soluciones a muchos de nuestros problemas comunes.
Interreligious dialogue is not about changing people's ideas about their religions or beliefs, but about finding a common ground between religions, focusing on communities and through the emphasis on harmony and peace, to find solutions to many of our common problems.
En el terreno del diálogo interreligioso se afirma la capacidad de discutir nuestras diferencias religiosas y culturales es algo más que una mera actividad extracurricular. Es una habilidad vital para los participantes en la democracia, en especial en una sociedad democrática como la nuestra, llena de gentes con profundas y complejas diferencias.
In the field of interreligious dialogue, he states, the ability to discuss our religious and cultural differences is more than a mere extracurricular activity. It is a vital skill for participants in democracy, especially in a democratic society such as ours, full of people with deep and complex differences.
La importancia del diálogo interreligioso es para la mejora de la humanidad y de la buena voluntad de las sociedades. Se resalta el papel del diálogo interreligioso.
Religious backgrounds, and we can see that there are some similarities in approach. And I'm always a coach, because I worked many years with interfaith dialogue, and I've always been encouraged about this point. You realize that there are similarities. If you go deep into your own faith, you recognize there's some similarities with other faiths. And that is this worldview I want to highlight and the importance of it.
For us to be participating in Second World Peace Conference. Now we're going to introduce you to Georgian-Korean Joint Project, Peace Education Camp. You may think, why did our educators decide to create this project? And how did two countries with distance over 6,700 kilometers find each other? In 2018, online meetings between Georgia and Korea developed into an idea to host peace exchange camp. After visiting Seoul, two educators sat online to discuss lack of peace education in the world. And now we want to introduce you to details of this project.
The project we are going to talk about answers the following sustainable development goals. Goal number 4, quality education. Education is a fundamental human right and is indispensable for achievement of sustainable development. Goal number 16, peace, justice, and strong institutions. Promote peace, provide access to justice for all, and build strong institutions. And goal number 17, partnership for the goals. The main target of this goal is to strengthen domestic resource mobilization and to build the world peace.
In our school, we have IRON Club, which means International Education and Research Network. IRON has 100 projects, and one of them is our school's project, Virtual Peace Education Camp. Virtual Peace Education Camp invites children to think about what peace means to them and where they feel peaceful. Also, the follow-up activities encourage students to think critically about war and to explore its human cost. We made logo first camp, and repeats included 12 weeks. So, first 2 weeks, self-introduction. Students from 11 countries introduce themselves using Zoom US, which is online platform like Skype.
In this camp, students were able to communicate with each other and other schools, and they had live meetings, and they talked about world peace. For example, our school had a live meeting with other schools from Georgia, like Korea, and the school from South Korea. The students showed each other love, support, and friendship, and discussed the world peace.
In one of our online meetings, we tried to write different proposals on a piece of paper in each other's languages. For example, in the middle of the photo, our Korean friends wrote in Georgian language, which means I love you. One of our friends, girl who lives in America, who has no problem about peace in her country, said that no matter where I live, peace is the most important thing in the world. We are all equal and we are all living on one planet. So, every human's duty is to find and fight for peace for the world.
Someone thinks that love and peace are recluse and must have been left behind in 60s. That's his problem. Love and peace are internal. Peace is our future. Peace is everything.
Peace is the way of life.
There is no further peace. This is the way.
Hope you always soar high, just like these kites dot the sky.
Peace begins with a smile.
There was never a good war or a bad peace.
Peace is a journey of 1,000 miles, and it must be taken a step forward at a time. To reach peace, teach peace.
Peace has sweet happiness.
If you want to be loved, love.
Peace cannot be kept by force.
I wish we had great competition and peace in the world. There is no life without direction.
Peace begins with a smile.
This is very important. Peace for us and for one. Peace is always very smile.
For us, peace is important.
Few messengers and we can change words in the other side.
Communicate and try hard together to achieve the world peace.
Students came up with their own definitions of peace. They learned the necessity and the benefit of peace education. Peace accelerators promote 7 key harmony principles that foster and accelerate a more peaceful existence for all Homo sapiens. Sharing, collaboration, transparency, love, empathy, inclusion. Peace is not something you wish for. Peace is something you make, something you do, something you are, and something you can
Novel by Georgiana Moore, the magic symbol of peace, the message of sunflower. And since the sunflower always had been the symbol of peace and bright future, students decorated all continents and countries with sunflower during the live meeting. And they did this because every country and every continent deserves peace and bright future.
The week 7 to 8. This week was titled Peace Receipt, which basically stands for Our Ways to Reach Peace. Students from Iron started to use their imagination and made up these amazing receipts that would calm them down and have a beautiful result. Students also thought of the traditional food that showed one of the peace values. They shared the receipts so that others could try making it at their own place according to the given receipt. Students from Georgia made these amazing colorful drinks and called them peace remedy. Students from Korea made their traditional food like kimchi and kimbap. They looked great. We also formed up with students from Azerbaijan and made these amazing desserts and sweets. We called them peace delicacy. The given recipes were easy to make and easy to follow.
Rules for peace. On this day, students imagined that they were prince and princess of the country and they had all the rights to change it. And once, as Einstein did with his formula, students thought of the elementary particles of the standard model, and they guessed the meanings of all elements.
Brothers and sisters, the organizer of this conference, the abbot of Wat Buddhayan Temple in Stockholm, Sweden, and President of World Buddhist Alliance, Secretary General, dear friend. The concept of the peace in Buddhism. Peace is a central concept in Buddhism. There are many discourses that Buddha has purchased to set up internal and external peace. The primary objective of Buddhism is to bring about the well-being and happiness of the multitude of mankind as well. Bahujana hitaya, bahujana sukhaya. For the purpose of Buddha purged the doctrine.
Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, please let me introduce myself. I am Percy Narinwong Doctor, the wife rector of Mahachulalongkorn Rajavidyalaya Nongkai campus, Thailand. Now, I would like to express my sincere appreciation to have a great opportunity to join the International Peace Conference. On behalf of Mahachulalongkorn Rajavidyalaya Nongkai campus, Thailand, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the Union of Thai Sangha in Europe, in association with Buddharam Temple and Universal Peace Federation in Sweden, for organizing this special event that brought all of us having a good chance to participate in and knowing one another. The university that I am working in is the University for Buddhist monks, nuns, priests in other religions, and even lay people worldwide. And I am from Nongkai campus, where is one of more than 40 branches. There is no happiness better than peace. Inevitably, all of us need happiness, such as happiness from money and property, happiness from spending them, and even happiness from getting what we desire. But we sometimes overlook real happiness, which can also make happiness to oneself and to the world. It is happiness from the peace. Buddhists believe that the world peace can only be achieved if we first establish peace within our minds. The idea is that anger and other negative states of mind are the cause of the wars and fighting. Buddhists believe that people can live in peace and harmony only if we abandon negative emotions, such as anger in our minds, and cultivate positive emotions, such as love and compassion. Eventually, wishing all of you happiness, good health, getting what you all desire, get through any obstacles in life with mindfulness and with the power of peace. May our world be full of peace forever. Thank you very much.
Great. We'll go to the next Ken.
So thank you very much for your coming. I'm very grateful that you all participate. Sometimes it's difficult to understand what we are talking about, but you are very good listeners, so I'm very grateful. Okay, so I talk about peace, order, and prosperity from the viewpoint of education. So I want to emphasize how important the education is. Since I came from Japan, as you know about Japan, did you went to Japan? Did you go to Japan? So then you can understand how developed that country is. I'm not proud of my country, but it is reality. But you know, the latter part of 1800, the level of the standard of education is quite high in Japan. Students saved us, Russia, they going back to the return to this communism again. They stop at the cost of their lives to stand in front of tanks. You know about what happened that time. So this, and then Dr. Suk, who are very inspired by Dr. Moon's idea and philosophy, and started in all professors from different fields and staff members. They worked together and made published 2 books. They call Moi Mil Ia. Moi Mil Ia, my word, and I. Okay? But there is another meaning. Meal have 2 meanings. Word and peace. How can I become, how can I contribute to the world? Then, if I can contribute to the world better way, I can become peace and happy. Okay? So we distribute quite many these books throughout the different schools. So, and teacher educated, but as you know, that the political climate always changes. And if they don't like, they pressure. So many regions could not teach these books. But some teachers stand up and they fought. And some school, they could really learn to how to teach. But I want to give some examples. In Ukraine, I have an opportunity to teach many schools, some teachers. And so some schools are quite poor, and they don't have even heaters. So there's one Japanese group, women's group, who are helping this radiation program. But I told them, radiation, it's important, but you really think about future of this country, then invest for young people. So this group bought thousands of books and distributed to some school, which is very poor, cannot even afford to buy. So then one mother phoned me. So they asked about me from teachers. So her son read these books in one night. Then he gave to her to read this one. And she was so inspired. And she phoned me. I was so happy to have this one. And this is the book which we can educate young people. I'm very inspired and burst into tears. And so...
And then at the global level. As His Holiness Mirza Masroor Ahmad elucidates this point in the following way, that the situation within a home is not limited, but has a knock-on effect on the peace of the local area, which in turn affects the peace of the wider town or city. If there is disturbance in the home, it will negatively affect the local area, and that will affect the town or the city. In the same way, the state of the town or city affects the peace of the entire country, and ultimately the state of the nation affects the peace and harmony of the region and the entire world. In order to establish peace within our homes, Islam and many other religions gives us guidelines and explains our responsibilities. And by implementing those, the family members are united in a bond of love and true affection. At the societal level, religion can also play an important role for the establishment of peace. If religious leaders of different faiths gather, like we do here today, it will send a strong message to our followers and the society at large. The world has indeed turned into a global village where people of different cultures and backgrounds meet and interact with each other through various means. We saw her earlier, school groups from South Korea and Georgia interacting with each other. It was, I think, very inspiring. The population of many countries, Sweden not the least, has become multi-ethnical and culturally diverse. This has also caused certain unrest. For on the one hand, there are people, immigrants who refuse to integrate into their new societies. And on the other, local sentiments are turning against newcomers, and thus mutual hatred is on the rise. As a Muslim leader, it is my duty to promote Islam's teaching regarding positive integration and loyalty towards one's nation. Islam teaches that we should consider all treaties and agreements as a trust, which also includes the treaty of citizenship. The Holy Prophet of Islam, Muhammad, peace be upon him, taught that love of one's nation is part of faith. To obey the authorities and to be a law-abiding citizen is a duty for every Muslim. Islam further teaches that to work for the progress of the nation and serve its interest is a high virtue. And this is also the true meaning of the word jihad. Once the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, returned to his city after a skirmish and stated, "We have returned from the lesser jihad to the greater jihad," referring to the day-to-day efforts to create peace and harmony within the society.
Aren't we doing or making peace as a compulsory subject in the education system? Why it is treated as an extracurricular activities that those youngsters have shown all the time? Okay, we are doing this, we are doing conference for this. Why the education system is not having peace as equal, as important as English, chemistry, science and all other things, so that we grow up with the same kind?
Yeah, I see. Because, but I don't know about other countries, but in Japan, for tradition that we divide with normal education or religious or indoctrinate. We try to not to indoctrinate people, because we are Buddhist country. But as you know, but here and there, the teachers can explain about moral aspect. So that is, you can see the criminal act in Japan is very low. It's quite peaceful. You can go anywhere in the night, middle of the night, but you are not attacked. Not like United States. It's quite different. But you know, ideally, it should be combined. inner aspect and external aspect. But I'm very sorry that our government is indulgence.
I believe it has nothing to do with any. I believe it has nothing to do with any of the country or any of the religion. Peace is not a religion or not any name of any of the country. So, but this is what we are looking for. The teachers like you and venerables and from all other religions must take a step so that it should become a part of our education system, not an extracurricular activities, because the end of everything is peace.
Yeah, therefore we made this kind of book, okay?
I consider it again an extracurricular activity.
That is why we try to push this into the school curriculum.
I think if you give it in the school curriculum again, it is becoming, because I also studied in India, and always we have learned when I fight with someone like my colleague or someone, that my mother would have told me, no, better be in peace. Or if some countries are fighting with each other, end of the day they end up with peace. One country saying, okay, white flag, peace, and when we die in the end, we write a message, rest in peace. You know, the end of everything is peace.
Yeah, I understand.
And still we are considering peace as again I'm saying, an extracurricular activity. We are printing the books, we are having conferences to create, but we are not putting it in the system because maybe somewhere something is lacking, that we don't want peace at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That has to be done.
Okay. Environment very much. Everyone talks about the environment. But then they think about the climate, and the flowers, and the bees, which is very nice, and the waters. But I don't think so much about the human climate. We talk about education, why people are stressed is because something here, the education maybe is lacking generally in our society. And it's true, we need to address it. And actually that's why we have this conference. And that's why we want to continue having these conferences, because we want to address this issue and make more awareness about it. That this is not depending on religion or culture, but it's a human issue. And today there's a struggle, I would say, between those who understand it and those who don't want to understand it. And that we can address in another point. But, so that's the one. And of course we talk about freedom, how can coexist in mutual communities. We talked earlier about integration, it's a very important issue. A world in peace, and all people have a responsibility to contribute. We learn the nature of service. So, I have now we have 6 people for this last session, so you understand. And then this time is short, sorry. So it's 5 minutes basically. You had 8 for, and then can stretch a little bit. But if it's 10 minutes, it's 60 minutes. So I have to be more stingy here. Sorry. Anyway, we have Professor Dr. Hans sorry, I don't. Professor. What?
Your Holiness, Venerable Monks, Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure and honor to make the speech at the Stockholm World Peace Conference, International Peace Conference. I would like to avail of this opportunity to express my best wishes and warmest congratulations to all eminent participants and organizing committee, as well as His Holiness take this opportunity to convey my sincere wish, pure love, and boundless compassion to the whole world. This 3-scale day is the most significant and auspicious day to Buddhist world. Siddhartha Gautama was born, attained supreme enlightenment, and passed into final discharge on the full moon day. On this 3-scale day of Buddha, I sincerely would like to deliver the following message.
来到美丽瑞典首都斯德哥尔摩，这是为了大家一个共同的目标，就是提倡和平。要有真正的和平，我们需要的不是武器。佛陀教我们要向4种人散播慈悲。1自己，2身边的人及亲人和朋友，3不认识的人，4敌人。 能对自己有慈悲的人才会懂得爱护自己。首先是尊重自己和不伤害自己。
What we need are not weapons. In fact, peace could never be maintained by weapons. The origin of chaos, disputes, and war is indeed the people's heart. That said, to end war and make peace, the necessary change is also from people's heart. War and peace both roots in the hearts of everyone. If the education nowadays could do nothing to remove the seeds of hatred within the hearts of the next generation, then arrogance, mutual disrespect, opposition, and even hostility and hatred would not cease to grow in mankind. As a Buddhist, we believe that peace begins with metta, or literally loving kindness. The Buddha taught us to spread compassion to four kinds of people. First is to ourselves, then it is to the people around us, that is our family, friends, and relatives. Farther, to the people who we do not know, and lastly, to our enemies. First, we have compassion to ourselves. We'll know how to protect ourselves. We respect ourselves and do no harm to ourselves. By understanding this, we know gratefulness. We know how to cherish our families and friends, the people we love, and those around us. Then we know the meaning of respect. Respect to those who don't know the strangers, the passersby we meet every day, those who pass by and we meet every day. Compassion comes within ourselves, radiating to our close relatives and friends, to strangers, and finally reaches our enemies. We know how to forgive. It is kindness and forgiveness which eliminate hatred. True peace of mankind could then be achieved. I wish in the future this forum of peace will become a platform which everyone with our different professions and backgrounds could meet each other, work together, discuss problems, and find solutions with our common goal of making peace. A platform which we could exchange cultures and ideas.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the mindfulness or samadhi is meditation to mental cultivation. So I also have a scholarship to come to Sweden how to do the plantation, to do a forest sustainable. Because in Buddha I say the environment is so important. Without the human or any living things is called environment. When you put the living things it's called ecology. So he says sapaya means right environment. That's why he left the palace and all this luxurious thing and become common or layman or before and then become Buddha. So it's like going tree. You have to suffer, trying to find the truth. Not many curriculum can fit you, Buddha. I cannot call you Buddha. I watched the movie. And so, so when you grow that, Gamma is like whatever you do, you would think about growth economy. Then you grow out to be rich. You think about peace, you become a monk. And then, so Gamma is like the work on plantation. So Gamma is like a seed, and the result Gamma is like a fruit. So in a society, the wholesome person behave on generosity, morality, ethical thought, and all those that would individual psychology deposit all of this to be a gentle person or to be poverty or in a society. So I want to go through real quick because I want to give all the floor to a meditation person next. Come all on and on, you know, and then the meditation is finding the inner peace. So I believe that the Buddha said, whatever you look to the universe, he has 7 weeks after he enlightened it, right? Buddha? You have 7 weeks, 7 days, standing there, consider in Puttaya. Another 3, after that, he stay every 7 days, 7 weeks, thinking about what all this knowledge in the universe is only a bunch of leaves. That's all human can learn. So the meditation is finding the inner peace by letting go of the thing that normally occupy our minds. So if you are so suffering, first thing that you have to do is meditate. I have a chance to join Willpower Institute in Texas. We both we do English and Thai, and this is Thai community. So Saturday and Sunday we teach the person how to be meditate. So we do 30 minutes walking meditation and 30 minutes meditate. I mean deep sitting down, deep meditation. So when you're driving or when you walking or when you do something, you meditate. It's not big, it's short. It's like a narrow meditate. It's like short meditation. Then you're still aware of everything going on. So these things is called high-tech meditation. So I would like to join the youth in Georgia. We'd like to visit you that belong to join your camp to do the meditation. Okay, not yet, not yet. I mean, I like to go to you and visit and bring our teacher and join you to teach the youth. And then I also would like to join the UK
Single verse of Holy Quran contains the word of jihad and fighting, the word of jihad and killing, the word of jihad and warfare together in one text. We are not able to find even a single verse of Holy Quran in one text together. Jihad and killing, jihad and fighting, jihad and warfare. So there is some misguided people, some criminal people hijacked the word of jihad from Quran, the holy book, and from the statement of last prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. So 35 verses, not a single verse combines the word jihad and fighting, jihad and killing. These two words have never been revealed in any single verse.
As many might know, they had a lot of silver, which the Spaniards took to Europe. This is how it happened with our people. If we talk about the identity and that we want to preserve our identity, then we have to go back to our roots. And we have a background as far as the spirituality is concerned. We know that the conquistador brought up the Catholic Church as well, and the result was that the gold and the silver was taken to Europe. But our basis of our civilization, the Inca Empire and pre-Inca Tiahuanaco and all this huge wisdom that was still survives, is Amasua, Amaluya, Amakeda. That was the basis. That is the hello. That means don't lie, don't believe.